You don't need a spotless house to feel at peace, but a tidy home can bring calm to your mind and clarity to your day. The secret? It starts in the morning. With just a few simple habits, your home can stay fresh, organized, and inviting all week long. And no, it doesn't require hours of cleaning, just mindful routines done with love. Today, we'll walk through 9 powerful morning habits that help keep your home effortlessly tidy, one sunrise at a time. 1. Make your bed right after you get out of it. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but making your bed each morning is like pressing the reset button on your space and your mindset. It's a 5-minute habit that sets the tone for a home that feels in order, even if the rest of the house is still waking up with you. There's a quiet kind of magic in smoothing the sheets, fluffing the pillows, and pulling up the covers with care. It tells your brain that rest time is over, and the day has begun with intention. And that's not just poetic thinking. Studies have shown that making your bed is one of the most common habits among people who report feeling more productive and less stressed throughout the day. But there's more to it than that. In homes where the bed is left messy, the rest of the room tends to follow suit. Clothes start to pile up. Books linger on the floor. Dust gathers in corners. Why? Because when one thing feels undone, the mind unconsciously gives itself permission to let everything else slide. On the other hand, when your bed is neatly made, the room feels instantly more in control, even if there's still a sock or two hiding under the dresser. If you live alone, this habit becomes an act of self-respect, a way to say, I care about my space and I care about myself. And if you live with others, especially in a shared bedroom, it's a quiet gesture of harmony. You begin your day with something you've accomplished, something beautiful you've created from nothing more than rumpled sheets and 5 focused minutes. Here's a tip: simplify it. You don't need a dozen throw pillows or hospital corners. Just straighten the essentials. Make it easy enough that you can do it half asleep, yet tidy enough that it brings a sense of pride when you walk back in later. Start here, start small. 1 bed, 1 habit, 1 ripple of order that spreads through the house. 2. Never leave dishes in the sink after breakfast. It's a moment that happens in nearly every home. Breakfast is done, the coffee's gone cold, and there's that quiet tug to just walk away. Maybe you'll come back to the dishes later. Maybe not. But here's the truth. The decision you make in that moment will shape the energy of your entire home for the rest of the day. Leaving dishes in the sink doesn't just clutter your kitchen. It clutters your mind. Every time you pass by, there's a small silent reminder of something undone. And over time, those small reminders add up. They weigh on your attention, whispering guilt into the corners of your peace. Now imagine the opposite. You finish your breakfast and without hesitation, you rinse your plate. You load the dishwasher or set it gently in the drying rack. You wipe the counter clean. It takes maybe 5 minutes, but in those 5 minutes, you send a message to your space and yourself. We start the day clean. We begin with care. It's not about perfection. It's about rhythm. Morning dishes have a way of multiplying if left unchecked. A bowl here, a spoon there, and suddenly lunch comes around and there's no room to cook. The clutter grows faster than you think, and the task becomes heavier the longer you wait. But when you handle it right away, your kitchen becomes a space of welcome, a room that says you are in control. This day is yours. This habit also builds momentum. When you start your day by finishing something, even something as small as a spoon in the sink, your brain releases a tiny surge of dopamine, that lovely chemical that says, well done. That one win leads to another. One clean dish leads to a wiped counter. A clean counter might lead to organizing the pantry or preparing a healthy lunch ahead of time. Small tasks create larger tides. So here's your invitation. After breakfast tomorrow, don't walk away. Rinse, clean, finish. Let that small act of closure be your first gift to the home that shelters you. 3. Do a 5-minute surface sweep. Imagine this. Before the rush of the day pulls you in, You take just 5 quiet minutes to walk through your main living spaces, your kitchen, your living room, maybe even the hallway, and do a simple surface-level reset. You don't deep clean. You don't organize drawers. You just restore visual peace. That's the power of the 5-minute sweep. It begins with awareness. You notice the small things that easily accumulate. Yesterday's mail still sitting on the counter, a coffee mug that didn't make it to the sink, a pair of shoes left near the couch. One by one, you return them to their rightful places. With each step, you're not just tidying your home, you're reinforcing a sense of calm, of intention, of care. And the beauty of it is how little effort it takes. We often think of cleaning as a daunting chore, something to block off time for, something we dread. But the truth is, most clutter isn't the result of mess, it's the result of delay. It's the socks not put away yesterday, the mail not sorted last week, the small things that grow into big things simply because we didn't take a moment to intervene early. The 5-minute sweep stops that cycle before it starts. You don't need to do it perfectly. You don't need to touch every room. Just pick a few key surfaces, the kitchen counter, the coffee table, the entryway shelf. Return items to where they belong, toss what's no longer needed, straighten what looks out of place. That simple gesture transforms your space from lived-in chaos to intentional calm. It makes your home feel ready for the day ahead, welcoming, spacious, breathable. If you live with others, it's also a powerful visual cue. It shows your children, your spouse, your guests that this home is cared for, that someone pays attention. And in a quiet way, it invites them to do the same. So tomorrow morning, try it. Just 5 minutes. One basket of clutter, one walkthrough, one soft reset. Because the difference between a home that feels overwhelming and a home that feels like sanctuary often comes down to the little moments, done regularly, done with heart. 4. Open the windows and let the light in. There's a quiet ritual that changes everything, and it starts with something as simple as opening your windows and drawing back the curtains. The moment you welcome in the light, the entire room shifts. The stillness of the night begins to lift. Fresh air rolls through the space, sweeping out the stale energy of yesterday and replacing it with something new, something alive. It's not just about air or sunlight. It's about the message you send to your home: we are awake now. We are starting fresh. Too often, we leave our homes in darkness long after we've risen. Curtains closed. Rooms dim. It's easy to do, especially on tired mornings. But that darkness can linger in our minds. It can dull the start of the day and make the home feel heavier than it needs to be. Sunlight, on the other hand, has the power to lift your spirits and your space. Natural light has been shown to boost mood, improve focus, and regulate your sleep-wake cycle. It helps clear mental fog. It energizes the body. And when paired with a few open windows or a screen door, it invites a breeze to move through your rooms, refreshing not only the air, but the atmosphere of the entire home. It doesn't take long. You don't need a grand view or a perfect sunrise. Just pull back the shades. Slide open the glass. Let the light stretch across the floor and onto the furniture. Let the morning air drift through your kitchen and living room, even if only for a few minutes. You'll feel it, that shift. That sense that the day has officially begun. That your home is not a closed-off container but a living, breathing space that responds to the world outside. And if you live alone, this small act can feel like company. A reminder that nature is always near, that warmth and movement are still part of your day, even on quiet mornings. So start here. One window, one curtain, one breath of fresh air. You might be surprised how much lighter everything feels inside and out. 5. Put away laundry, don't let it linger. Laundry isn't just about clothes. It's about closure. And what often feels like a small delay, leaving a clean pile on the chair, or letting clothes sit in the dryer just a little longer, can quickly unravel the sense of order you've worked so hard to build. The morning is the perfect time to break that cycle. Maybe the laundry was done last night, but it didn't quite make it back into drawers or closets. Maybe there's a basket in the corner that's been quietly waiting for days. Whatever it is, take a few minutes after you wake up to finish the loop. Not halfway. All the way. Fold it. Hang it. Tuck it neatly into place. This tiny habit isn't just about tidiness, it's about training your brain to follow through. Every time you complete a task from start to finish, your mind becomes calmer. The background noise of "I still need to do" that fades. You move through your home with less friction and more flow. Now, laundry might not seem like a big deal. But here's the truth. Piles of clothing, clean or not, act like static in a room. They pull at your attention. They sit on your favorite chair, cover your bedroom bench, or spill out of the laundry basket like a visual reminder of what's undone. And the longer they stay, the easier it becomes to ignore them altogether. Soon, your tidy space begins to feel cluttered. Not because it's messy, but because it's incomplete. Morning is your moment to take that power back. It's often quieter, slower, and more focused than any other part of the day. So use that energy to close the loop. Make it part of your rhythm, just like brushing your teeth or making the bed. Set a small goal, put away one load before breakfast, or fold and store a handful of items while your coffee brews. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, but it does have to be done. Because when your clothes are where they belong, your home starts to feel like it belongs to you again. And that feeling of order, of presence, of peace sets the tone for everything that follows. 6. Wipe down one key area every morning. It's easy to underestimate what a simple cloth can do. But every morning, if you take just 1 minute, yes, one, to wipe down a key surface in your home, you create a ripple of cleanliness that carries through the rest of your day. Choose one spot. Just one. The kitchen counter. The bathroom sink. The dining table. Maybe it's the entryway shelf where keys and mail tend to gather. Wherever the space, give it your full attention for 60 focused seconds. A clean surface is like a clear sky. It opens up the room. It sends a message that this home is cared for, protected, honored. And perhaps more importantly, it reminds you that order doesn't come from grand gestures, it comes from small, steady effort. The reason this habit is so powerful isn't just about hygiene, though that matters. It's about the psychology of visual clarity. When we see crumbs, smudges, or spills, our brains register that space as unfinished. It nags at us in the background, quietly draining our focus. But a wipe counter tells a different story. It says this is done. You can breathe here. It also sets a standard. When you wipe a space clean, you become more likely to keep it clean throughout the day. You're less tempted to drop your mail there, leave dishes nearby, or stack clutter in that spot. And those small choices prevent bigger messes from ever forming. If you live with others, it teaches by example. Children learn from what we do more than what we say. A spouse might feel inspired to mirror the rhythm. Over time, the habit spreads like sunlight through the blinds. Here's a secret: you don't even need spray or soap every time. Often, just a damp cloth and a gentle motion is enough to reset the space. Make it effortless. Make it natural. Tie it to something else you already do, right after you pour your coffee, before you leave the bathroom as the toast pops up. 1 minute. One surface. One habit that quietly transforms your home into a place of comfort and clarity. 7. Do a quick floor check. Shoes, crumbs, and clutter. The floor is the quiet foundation of your home's energy. It holds everything: our footsteps, our routines, our moments of pause. And yet, it's often the most overlooked part of our morning rhythm. That's why a quick daily floor check can change everything. It doesn't mean vacuuming every room or getting on your hands and knees with a scrub brush. It simply means looking down, really looking, and resetting the space beneath your feet. Start with the entrance. Are there shoes scattered by the door, bags left from yesterday's errands, dust collecting in corners? Straighten what you can. Put shoes where they belong, or at least line them up with care. Give the welcome mat a shake. Wipe up any dirt or water that may have been tracked in. Then glance through your most used spaces: the kitchen, the hallway, the living room. A few crumbs near the stove? A wrapper on the floor from yesterday's snack? Pick it up. Sweep that one small area if you have time. If not, make a mental note and schedule a deeper clean later. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. Why does this matter? Because your floor anchors the visual energy of your home. When it's clean and clear, everything above it feels lighter, more in balance. And when it's cluttered, it pulls the room down, making even neat spaces feel disheveled. There's also a safety benefit, especially as we age. Keeping the floor free of obstacles like shoes, cords, or stray items reduces your risk of trips and falls. That small sweep in the morning can quite literally keep you steady all day long. If you want to build this habit easily, link it to another part of your routine. Check the floor while your tea is steeping. As you head to the bathroom, right after you've made your bed. It's not a chore, it's a moment. A scan. A quiet act of mindfulness that says, I live here and I care for this space. And you'll feel the difference. Walking through your home becomes smoother. Your eyes rest easier. And your morning starts with that subtle sense of pride, knowing that even the ground beneath you is loved and tended. 8. Empty the trash before it builds up. There's something symbolic about an empty trash bin. It represents a fresh start. A clean slate. A space no longer weighed down by yesterday's clutter. And yet, it's one of the most overlooked parts of our homes. We walk by, we press things down, we say, I'll take it out later. But here's the truth. Letting trash linger, even just a little too long, quietly affects the feel of your home. It's not just about smell, though that's part of it. It's about energy. A full bin is a visual anchor of delay. Says this task is waiting, and with every glance, your mind registers something unfinished. Over time, that subtle signal builds stress. Not always loud or obvious, but persistent. You might not feel it directly, but you will feel the result. A slight heaviness in your environment. A resistance to being fully at peace in your space. Now imagine this instead. Each morning, as part of your routine, you take a moment to check the trash. Bathroom, kitchen, bedroom. If it's even close to full, you tie it up and take it out. You replace the liner. You wipe the rim if it needs it. And suddenly, that small, often ignored corner of your home feels cared for. This habit isn't about being fussy. It's about resetting the environment in the places you often forget. Trash accumulates faster than we expect. Few tissues. A snack wrapper. Yesterday's mail. And once the bin is overflowing, we tend to ignore it even more. We get used to the clutter. But your home shouldn't be a place of buildup. It should be a place of release. If you find it hard to remember, set a simple reminder. Tie the habit to brushing your teeth or making coffee. Or keep small liners nearby for a quick swap. Some people even find it helpful to use smaller bins, which naturally encourage more frequent emptying. And when you step outside to take it to the bin, pause for a moment. Breathe in the morning air. Let it mark the start of a new day. Not just cleaner but lighter. You've cleared space. You've made room. 9. Take one item with you every time you leave a room. This final habit may be the simplest of all, and yet, it has the power to quietly transform your entire home. It doesn't require any extra time, energy, or planning. Just awareness. Just one small decision made over and over again throughout the day. Every time you leave a room, take something with you. A mug left on the end table? Carry it to the sink. A book on the kitchen counter? Return it to the shelf. A jacket on the chair by the door? Hang it up on your way out. One item. One moment. One movement closer to a home that feels peaceful and loved. This habit works because it builds on something you're already doing. Walking from room to room. You're not adding anything to your schedule. You're simply layering intention into your existing routine. And that's where the beauty lies. Homes rarely become cluttered all at once. It's a slow, quiet accumulation, one item at a time, left behind in the rush of daily life. But just as clutter grows gradually, so can tidiness. And by practicing this gentle act of returning things as you move, you stop clutter before it ever settles in. What makes this habit so effective is that it becomes automatic. Over time, your eyes begin to scan as you leave a room. You notice what's out of place. You pick it up without thinking. You become the keeper of flow, the quiet caretaker of peace. And here's something more. This habit isn't just about objects. It creates a mindset, a belief that your environment matters and that it's worth tending. Not in big, exhausting bursts, but in small daily gestures of care. If you live with others, this is a wonderful habit to teach and share. Invite your children or spouse to do the same, not as a rule but as a rhythm, a family dance of tidiness where everyone plays a part, and no one carries the burden alone. So as you rise from the couch or head down the hallway, or walk out the front door, ask yourself gently, is there something I can take with me? The answer will almost always be yes. And the more often you say yes, the more your home becomes a place where calm is not a chore, but a way of living. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. It helps us reach more people who want to live with a little more calm and clarity each day.